Hi everyone, this is Marty with Pezzadoodle Designs. We're here again for Imagine This Friday with our Cricut Imagine machines. And I have a quick, easy lesson for you today, a little tip really more than anything. We all love to have our matching papers, everything color coordinated. So I have seen a lot of people wonder how you're going to do that if your Imagine is printing everything off. A lot of us already have either all of the Stampin' Up! Papers, all of the paper tray ink papers, and we use that as our basic color pattern. So what I've done today is I've picked out a few pattern papers here, just from random pads that I have in my stash. I think they're mostly K & Company. And then what you see over here are the RGB color charts. This particular one is for paper tray ink. And so it tells you all of the colors of their paper, and then over here it gives you something called the RGB code. R stands for red, G stands for green, and B stands for blue. And these are the codes you use to match colors perfectly on computers. You can use it in any graphics program. You can use it in Word if you're typing up a sentiment or something to go on the inside of your card and you want it to match exactly. So these are really handy. And these can also be used on your Imagine. I'm going to do a set of note cards. They're going to be each basically the same except for the color scheme. And what I've done, I have my Mother's Day bouquet mini cartridge, and it's just basically a selection of flowers. And they're perfect for layering, so you cut them out different sizes, different colors, vary the different ones that you're going to layer, and you can create some really cool 3D effects. So what I did is I took my pattern paper that you saw down here, and I matched it up with my colored paper. And then instead of cutting on the colored papers, I have written down the RGB codes. The one I'm going to do for this lesson is this one here, the Pure Poppy and Sweet Blush. It's a red and a pink. I've written my RGB codes down, so it's real easy to change it on the Imagine. So let's go back up to our screen, and I'll show you real quick how that's done. Now I've already selected my flowers. I have 2 of each type, so I'll have a 4-layer flower. I've made them different sizes, so the first one starts at 3 inches, this will be 2.5, this one's 2, and that one's 1. You can see I've already colored 2 of them. This is the Pure Poppy and the Sweet Blush. So I need to go into my third one, tap it, hit that little pencil to get to your edit screen. You'll see some stock colors along the bottom you can choose from, and then you see this little rainbow button with the triangle. Tap that, and this is your RGB color screen. Many of you have probably already seen this on your regular computers, but down here you have the red, so this is where you'd put the code for red, the code for green, and the code for blue. So if you look on your sheet, Pure Poppy is 205, 32, 39. So I'll just go in here, and if you pay attention to this part as I move, as I move my code numbers, you'll see that that will move as well. And as it moves, this little color spot here will change. So there's my red 205. Green is 32, so just hold my stylus down on that button so it'll go quickly. There's 32, and blue is 39. So now it's heading back up into the reds again. Whoop, passed it up. And then here you have the Pure Poppy color. Now over here, let's see, move this just a little bit. I want to show you one more thing you have. This little slider scale is the darkness of your color. Get them both in here for you. So right now, the pointer's up here. This is going to be your pure poppy color. But as I slide this down, if you watch over here, your color will get darker, or it can get lighter. You can even go super light. So if you wanted to use this alone to change the colors of your layers, you could do that. You know your colors are going to match perfectly because it's in that same range. You're just sliding it up and down for darker and lighter. We're going to go back to our pure poppy. And I'll hit apply. And there I have my flower with my pure poppy color. So I'll hit apply again. And then we're going to go into the next one. We want to change that one to sweet blush. So we slide over, find our RGB scale. We want to go red is 252. Our green is 219. You can see the color changing as we move these codes. And then our blue is 214. So now we have sweet blush here. I'll hit apply. There's our flower. So now your layers will coordinate with your solid patterns if you're going, or your solid papers if you're going to use those for your card base. Or in my case, since I used this pattern paper to match them up, I know that when I print those flowers, they're going to match my paper. Now one more thing I'll show you, it's just pick any flower, that you can also do just for fun. You can drag this around. If you watch this color swatch over here, you can see what that color will do. So you can pick any color you want. Say I want a pale aqua. And then maybe I want it darker. So you can slide this around as well and make really an infinite number of possibilities as far as color goes. You can also choose a color here and then play with the lightness and darkness so that you have layers that match. And you can find most of the RGB codes out on the internet. I have paper tray ink printed off, I have Stampin' Up! Printed off, and I have Close to My Heart. Those are the paper companies that I tend to use. I know a lot of people use Basil. I searched and searched for those RGB codes, and from what I could find, you can purchase an app for an iPhone to get those, but that is the only way I have found that you can get them, and I don't have an iPhone. So luckily I don't use Basil, but I wish I could be more helpful for those that do. But I would suggest really just you'd have to experiment. If you have a Basil color that you really, really want to match up, it's not very difficult. It probably wouldn't take too many tries to get it perfect, and I would suggest doing that more easily on your regular computer through Microsoft Word. And then once you get those color codes down, just make a note of them off to the side. If anybody has more information on that for the rest of us, we'd love to hear from you. And I hope that you have found this helpful. I know there's been a lot of concern about matching up papers and that sort of thing. So I wanted to show you just this quick lesson so that you would know how to use those RGB codes and how to go in there and find them and adjust them to what you need. And I'd love to hear your comments. We'll have a great prize as always for the next 2 days, and then I'll announce the winner on Monday. Thanks so much.